Hey guys, welcome back. So this will be the last video for this section. In this section, we learn about what are the various capabilities of Python and how strong the packages are in Python. So this last package is again one of the very powerful packages that we have in Python. That is a GUI framework. Okay. What do GUI stands for? It's graphical user interface. So from this package, we can create, or let's pronounce it as a library. So from this library, we can create a GUI application. Yes, we can create a graphic application. Not only we can draw pictures, play around with images, have date time, but we can also create an app from Python alone itself from a particular library. Yes, there are very much restrictions also. We cannot create very high-end apps. Whatever we can create from Tkinter are very much restricted, and yes, we don't use in real life scenario. But this is a good place for practice, and if you want to create an application or if you want to run out your logic building skills, so this is the place where you can use it a lot. So let's know a bit more about Tkinter. It is a most commonly used library for developing GUI, that is graphical user interface in Python. It is a standard Python interface to the TK GUI toolkit shift with Python, as TK and Tkinter are available on most of the Unix platforms as well as on the Windows system. Developing GUI applications with Tkinter becomes the fastest and the easiest one. So we are going to learn a lot about Tkinter, but yes, not much deeper into this. If you want to learn much deeper into this, you can always go through this documentation and you can play around with this. These are something that you should be learning by yourself. You shouldn't be following a much of the course or any course. There are some courses available in the market, but currently you are in a scenario where you should be learning Tkinter, Pillow, or some small libraries that we don't much use, not much bigger libraries. These are very small libraries. So these are libraries which we don't use but are very good for practices. So these are possibly you should be learning by yourself. So I've given out the links. So if you ever want to learn it or play around with it, if you want to build out a project or you just need anything to do it, here's the link where you can learn it out. Okay, so here's it's actually the documentation link, but yes, that works just fine. Now let's close it out. Now let's look into some of the apps that some of my students had made in the previous uh, batches. So let's look into this. So this is a simple calculator made by one of my fellow students. So we have 99 into 85, is equal to, we have 8415. Similarly, we can do more things. We can negate, we can have add rate. Just play around with this if you ever want. The codes are already available there. So that's a calculator. Let's name this calculator. Okay. What is the next thing? So the next thing is where you can pronounce your names can be pronounced out. Oops. Yes, I took the wrong place. Let's change this calculator and let's look into the next part. Okay, next thing is where we can change the background. So this is how we can change the background of it, and also there's a random button. So if you click it out, you will be having random columns in your screen. Now what are these codes? If you have not known about hex codes, so what you can do is red color hex code. You can just search it out online. You will be getting out a bunch of it. So for red, it's FF 4 zeros. So let's copy it out over here and check if everything is working fine. So yeah, red color is working. So that's how you can create an app. So this is again an application. As you can see, this is an application. The name of it is color. You can change it out from somewhere. From here we have a background name where we are changing it to color, but you can always change out the window name. So somewhere we have mentioned out. Okay, so over here we have mentioned out, yeah. So here is the title. So you can change the title and it will just change it out to your particular whatever you have given the name as. So try to your, if you have learned anything from this, so you can just play around with, just create an app of your own. These codes looks quite tough, but if you just know the syntax, these are very easy, and you can see that these are only repetitive terms. So we have button, and inside of button we are just writing text, apply, with, command. So these are very repetitive, so these are not very hard. If you think that the code looks very much hard, so let me tell you, it's quite easy, and once you start with it, you will feel that it is very easy. Now, this is something which I like. This was again created by one of my fellow students from some batch. So what he has done is he has imported the PyTTX3. This is which converts text to voice. So if I run it out, so I will be getting something like this. And let's write hello world. If I want a male voice, I will just
Hello world.
press this.
Hello world.
If I want a female,
Hello world. Hello world.
you can call out
Hello
anything.
world. Hello world.
You can write anything. My name is Paul.
My
So,
name is Paul.
My name is Paul.
so that's how you can do it. So that those are some of the capabilities that we can do with Tkinter. So best of luck. If any one of you guys have keen interest in Tkinter, you can just learn it out. But make sure you don't give a lot of time into this, because you are not going to use this a lot in real life scenario. But yes, the takeaway from this will be, play around with Tkinter for a month or so, create out a project like library management or ticket reservations from Tkinter. After learning Tkinter, all of these concepts will help you building logic for your data science journey or your software development journey. So that's it for this section. We'll meet again in our next section. Thank you very much.